same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Back here where we need ya. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
I remember when KBBG started, my daddy, Mayweather Holmes, was so proud. And it was 40 years ago, and now just to be at this age is just a blessing. I'm happy to be 57. So many don't make it to live that way, so I'm just praising God for it. Just a couple of comments real quick, and I know it's late in the hour, but I would like to thank all the Holmeses and all of our relatives that traveled, those who live here and who didn't. Mom and Daddy, Mayweather and Alzania Holmes would be so proud of Derrick today. I'd also like to tell Rick, I don't recall you and Derrick working together, but I don't recall Derrick working on any job.
I didn't say he worked when he showed up.
Thank you. I do remember that he and Jeffrey Carter, Mom and Daddy, made him go to J.C. Penney's and get a job. And Jeffrey worked there for a while. I don't recall Derrick working more than a day or two. And Daddy was very frustrated. So I say that to say to his daughter, my daughter, all of the youth, when God has a purpose for you and who you are, Derrick was born to be an entrepreneur. He was never born to work a 9 to 5. And he used to tell me not to do it. I'm like, I'm not a risk taker, I'm working. But I praise God for where he has brought Derrick. Derrick has just 4 words I want to say that start with a P. He's a perseverer. He's positive. He's always just positive, have something good to tell you. Even if it's something bad, he still has a good way to tell you. He is poised all of the time. He is a professional. I've learned so much from him. He says he learns a lot from me because I'm the oldest, but I've learned so much from him. He has a heart of gold. He keeps in touch with people from preschool. His cell phone, oh my goodness, he just has thousands and thousands. He wants to be in touch with everybody. I have been, they know me personally it was Western Union, but now it's MoneyGram because it's less to spend the money. Niecy, so-and-so needs something. Niecy, I'm in Quebec. Will you go and send so-and-so, somebody's daughter needs something, somebody's son needs something. He will just do whatever he needs to do for anybody. He is a mentor. Somebody's son is graduating. They can't make it, Niecy. They might be in prison. They may be somewhere, Niecy. Well, I got it, Niecy. But I praise God that my daddy and mama raised him like that to be the person that he is. And we're grateful to be. I love Waterloo, Iowa. I tell everybody in Denver, I'm going home. This is home. And Waterloo, Iowa, I wouldn't have asked to be raised any other place. I praise God for all of us that have been here and know each other and been raised together. Just real quick, some of his vocabulary, and we're going to start singing.
Here we go.
Niecy, don't panic. He tells everybody, whatever situation you're in, don't panic. He'll also say, are you still there? I'm sure a lot of you all have heard that. What's another one, Nevaeh?
What's the name?
That he says that, and almost immediately.
Yes.
And the other one, I'll be there in 2 and 2.
Yes.
And you know that means that's 22 minutes or 2 hours and 2. Ain't no 2 and 2. So thank you for this opportunity. I love all of you who are here, and this is his little protege. She loves to take pictures like him, loves to sing and do everything. So just praise the Lord with us, because we're going to add the Lord in it. We put the Lord in anything we do because we give him glory. Okay, Gary, I'm finally done. Praise God for Mookie Owens and all the times we followed him in earnest to football games and behind the bus. I used to think that I could not See, I was on the verge of breaking down. Sometimes silence can be so loud. There are miracles in life I must achieve. But first I know it starts inside of me. Oh, if I can see it, then I can do it. If I can't believe it, yeah, there's nothing to it.
I believe I could fly. I believe I could touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I could soar. See you running through that open door. I believe I could fly. I believe I could fly. I believe I could fly. I believe in me.
If I can see it, Derrick believe it, then I can do it. If I can't believe it, he would say, there's nothing to it.
I believe I could fly. I believe I could touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I could soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I could fly. I could fly. I believe I could fly. If I just spread my wings, I can fly.
I can fly.
I can fly. If I just spread my wings, I can
I like to prepare. However, they said all you got to do is come up and introduce your good friend Suge Knight, and my good friend Derrick Holmes. Okay, my fault. I forgot where I was at. But before I get into the introduction and how much my friend means to me, I believe everybody had a copy of the fabulous magazine that was created by a lady I got a lot of respect for here in Waterloo, Soultown. It should be in a lot of the okay. But in that article about my friend, there's I know there's a lot of brothers in here who will talk about how they can play basketball. In that article, it said that Derrick scored 35 points in a game. And I don't know how that man could come to Waterloo and tell that lie with all these people here that know him. I mean, Derrick! Oh my, unbelievable. I mean, we can look at the video all night. There's no video coverage of a game where Derrick Holmes scored 35 points. Now I'm going to tell you, there was a time when, I don't know if many of y'all remember, the rap group Naughty by Nature came to Waterloo, played in a fundraiser basketball game, and I was part of that. And I did go for a triple-double. At least I got a video of it. My mom carries that video around. Teresa's back there, so y'all want to see the video. There ain't no video of Derrick Holmes scoring 35 points. Well, I was right. That's what I said when I read the article. Wow. But I tell you what, I've also said wow a lot of other times when I talk to my friend Holmes, okay? Met Derrick when I heard about Derrick, but met him when I was a high school student, and heard he was transferring over to East High School. My man, 100 grand, Henry Kennedy said, "Hey, Marv, man, this Derrick Holmes, he can sing. Woo, he can sing." And I had the best voice at East High School, so I was a little nervous. Derrick came, we sitting in choir, he sang. You know, I still had the best voice in East High School. Okay, but I had me a nice backup, and I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. He gave me support. His lovely daughter that was just up here singing, I do want to let her know quickly how lucky you are. A lot of girls love their dads. A lot of fathers love their daughters. But that young lady, you got a daddy. You got a daddy that loves you, and you'll be blessed for a long time. I'm blessed to be able to call Home Tip my friend. Known him for a long time. Lucky to have a lot of friends, and extremely fortunate to have Home Tip as one of my friends. Waterloo is very lucky. KBBG is blessed. I'm blessed to be able to call this gentleman my friend, and them nice watches you give me ain't too bad either, okay? No, Derrick, absolutely. Nothing but love for you for a long time and a long time to come. Everybody here knows, at least a lot of people, especially where's Latanya, she always complains about how long I talk. I could talk for a long time on this subject called Derrick Holmes, but I'm not, because it's late and there's other folks that want to say some things, and we're going to be blessed in a few minutes to hear his words of wisdom. But Derrick, you being my friend is an absolute gift. Much love all the time.
Hello, everybody. I'm truly honored to be here and to have been asked to introduce my good friend Derrick. It means a lot. I met Derrick about 15 years ago. After about 2 beers, we were family. And we've been family ever since. And I always be careful when a lawyer says I'm going to be brief. But I am going to be brief. Because those 15 years knowing Derrick have been, to me, kind of a study in character and the strength of character. Because I've been with Derrick, and we've been through some things together where I've seen him knocked down. I've seen him kick when he's knocked down. And I've always seen him get up. Always seen him get up. And it takes a certain kind of person to not just get up under those circumstances, but to do it while not only embracing kind of the fear that comes along with that, but turning that fear into courage. And he's done that every single time. And it makes me proud. It makes me proud to call you my friend. So all I'm going to say at this point is welcome home.
Let me just get one thing out the way. Now, everybody say me and Hometown look alike. How many people out here think we look alike? I got something else to get off my chest, though. I got something else to get off my chest. You know how Ricky had the pastor stand and all that kind of thing? Now, I told Bruce Gardner that I was going to get clean, right? And I come here tonight, I'm thinking I'm clean, all right? And then I look around, I see Bruce, I see James Lee, he clean. Lance Gooseman running around here clean. All these brothers sharp. So ladies, just so y'all know, I know ladies be looking at ladies, right? Brothers be looking at brothers to see, all right? If they sharp. And then Hometown got on a pink shirt, and sharp. Well, let me get a little more serious. This is an honor and a pleasure and a privilege for me on a couple of fronts to be introducing one of my very best friends. And I say one because I'm fortunate. I have some best friends. And so it's an honor to be introducing one of my very best friends. And it's another honor to be doing it at the 40th annual KBBG dinner fundraiser founded by my mentor. Let me say that again, my mentor. No, let me hurry to add. My mentor, Mr. Jimmy Porter. Many of you may not know, but I know Edie knows, and Deborah knows, and Jean knows that I spent 10 years under the tutelage of Jimmy Porter. And part of who and what I am is a part of much of what Mr. Jimmy Porter taught me. He drugged me everywhere he went, Edie, to every city council meeting, to every meeting with the mayors, the superintendents, all over the place. So anyway, so this is a double privilege and an honor for me. Now, back to one of my very best friends. They call him Derrick, Hometown. I may be the only one who calls you your true name, and that is Make It Happen Hometown. Now, I don't know if anybody else called him Make It Happen Hometown. Rick, you said he realized his dreams. If he put his mind to something, he's gonna get it. Denise, he just put his mind to something, you know, and he made it happen. Because that's what he do. Hometown and I, we go back, and I was trying to think of when we first met. You know, Hometown quite a bit younger than I am. And I realized I just couldn't remember. But I remember what my friend, one of my best friends, told me about a year ago, and that's Tony Keeling. Tony Keeling was hanging out with Hometown in Detroit, and Tony said, you know what, we went all over everywhere in Detroit, and what I realized is Hometown has never met a stranger. He's never met a stranger. Everybody he meets is like he's been knowing them forever. So when we first met, he was young. TK, y'all remember he's hanging, he's just supposed to be with us. He's 16 years old, we 21, 23. And he just hanging like he's just supposed to be with us. Now, no, one night he snuck off with his daddy's van. It wasn't supposed to. But anyway, Hometown, I'm getting ready to bring him up. You know, you don't know how to bring him up as a celebrity, an entertainer, an entrepreneur, a friend of the world, but I'm going to bring him up. But before I do that, there were some humble times in our lives. Hometown, there's only one person in this room who knows who makes the very best hamburgers. Now, who's that? Hometown. Yeah, right. And why does he know that I make the very best hamburgers? Because when we were struggling in Denver, Colorado, broke or under broke. What is that? Sub broke. You know, whatever they call that. And we were struggling to go get hamburger meat. And we get back with that hamburger. It was good, wasn't it? So that's where he come from. And finally, my friend, Edie, you saw Mr. Porter. We're gonna have to put that in the rotation. I have a picture in my bookshelf in my office, about this big. People come in, I tell them all about it. It's a picture of a little shack. A shack. I stole it from Mr. Porter. True story. He used to have it hanging on the back of his office door. He told me the whole story of it, and then I stole it, made a copy of it, put it back on his door. I never told him about it. That picture is the shack that he grew up in. Is a shack, one room, that's where he grew up. And to me, what it represents is no matter where you come from, you can make it. And one thing about Mr. Jimmy Porter, like Hometown, Mr. Porter refused to forget where he came from.
All right.
And he demonstrated it in several ways. Those of you, Minister Mike, used at the radio station, the old one. And,
yes.
And when we got to the new station, we have new microphones, and Jimmy Porter would bring out that old raggedy chair.
Yes.
And that old microphone and plug it in. We had comfortable seats. He brought out the raggedy chair. Because he refused to forget where he came from.
That's right. That's
now,
right.
Hometown, all I can say, I'm going to bring Hometown up, but I realized something, that what you do is not necessarily rocket science. It's not necessarily rocket science, but there's a science to what he does. And I figured that science out. And I'm going to emulate it. And the science is, he lives his life according to the science of the lion and the gazelle. Let me say it again. He lives his life according to the science of the lion and the gazelle. Because every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up and realizes he must outrun the slowest gazelle, or he's going to starve. Every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up, realizes he must outrun the fastest lion, or he's going to die. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a lion or gazelle. When the sun comes up, you need to be running. Be about your business. And that's what Mr. Derrick Holmes, Hometown, make it happen Hometown. That's what he does every single day. So tell us about your life, my brother.
I think I got to cut some checks tonight. Thank you, gentlemen. And I want to say thank you to everybody tonight. And I'm going to do something. I'm in the time business, and I'm going to obey time, because I know that sometimes our attention spans are only so long. It's been an incredible night. So I'm going to contour so we can get out of here and still feel good, but I hope I can give a little something that can happen. I've been fortunate to be able to speak in many places around the country, a few places outside of the country, but never say never, but unless I come back here again and I see all the faces of what I'm a sum total of and people that I love and have history with, I'll never be able to speak another time and it be so meaningful as this time it is for me now. did make a few notes because I want to thank some people. I want to thank Reverend Rudy and Sherry Jones because I landed in California and I get a phone call from my sister Sherry. She said, Derrick, she said, I hope you don't mind. She said, I put your name in the hat to be a speaker for KBBG. She said, and unanimously the board voted for you to be able to be the speaker, you know. And I said, are you kidding me? And, you know, I got a little emotional about it. You know, I felt like this is just, you know, the pinnacle for somebody who's come from a great place like this to be able to be brought back to be able to speak. So I'm very honored, and I want to say thank you to Reverend Rudy and Sherry. I want to thank KBBG and the board and the staff, President, Representative Derrick. I want to thank Deborah Carr, and I call them two the dynamic Debs, because if anything, you're going to want them on your side, because the two of them, they get to go, boy, they can make it happen. And they've been working very hard to pull this together, and I'm very grateful. I want to thank DJ Sweet G. Now, DJ Sweet G and I, we have a very incredible, humble beginnings. I was born on September 23rd at the old San Francisco Hospital. Gary was born on the 26th. I was breached. And of course, I try to do things a little differently. But Dr. Nash told my mom, she said this boy is caught up on all your cords and everything like that. And he said, we're gonna wait, we're gonna go get him in the morning. And she said, she laid there and something came over. I'm sure God said something to her, said, we're gonna get him in there, but boy, it's gonna be on you after that. But I was able to come in the world, and he said, if he may be brain dead or some things may be happening, but because he's choking right now. So my brother and my sister and all them, boy, they've been playing on this for me for years. You gotta be careful the information you let people have. But Gary came in on the 26th, and back then, obviously, you stayed in the hospital a lot longer than you do now. So we were roommates. And he came in, I was able to give him a high five. So it was one of my first homeboys. I just want y'all to know that. I want to thank my cousin Sparkle, AKA Rochelle Eichenberry, and she's just been so incredible at putting things together and helping here. So I'm so grateful to have her as my big cousin. She's got me by a year or so, so I always have to follow suit and obey. I want to thank all my family that's traveled in town. I want to thank my daughter, my granddaughter, all of my family at the table, and everybody who's been coming through. I want to give a special thanks all to the Alfred Babington Johnson, where are you? And his wife, Anna Johnson. This brother, incredible guy right here. And again, I'm gonna make a short story short. I was introduced to my man, Brother Johnson, by Spike Lee, who was an activist in Minneapolis. And this is when I first was starting putting things together for Banquet, my company. And he said, man, you gotta meet this guy. You gotta meet this guy. I said, okay, let's go. We rode by and we went to his office, and quoting my sister, almost immediately, he just loved what we were doing and got involved. So much that he wrote the first $10,000 for me to get my first prototype watches made with Banneker. And the list goes on and on of the things we did, but again, that'll be a whole nother video. I want to thank the Honorable Mayor, Quinn Hart. Quentin Hart is salt of the earth, and we drank the same water. He grew up some years under me, but this guy, we got to keep an eye on him. Gubernatorial and then presidential aspirations are looming over his head. But thanks for welcoming me, and thanks for being the outstanding mayor that you are. Chillin' the Conscious Poet, also the editor and founder of Soultown. It's a big deal. We've been working very closely, and she put a great story together. I'm very humbled and very grateful. I want to thank Ron Steele, KWWL. When you think about Ron Steele actually is the Walter Cronkite of Eastern Iowa. I mean, seriously, he's been giving us information for all of these years, and he's very passionate about what he does, and he has set the trend for people like my guy, and he's still blazing. And I always tell people, I'm not gonna ever retire. That's my goal. And even though he's young still, but he gets it done. So I want to thank you, Ron Steele. I want to thank a mentor of mine who is no longer with us, Donovan Bass. Donovan Bass was so integral to me in terms of, when I was 14, 15, like David was talking about, this guy was the man. Great athlete, great dancer, great dresser, charismatic. But he took time with younger people, and all of us, he sprinkled us. Like E40 is a rapper talking about sprinkling you, man. We were like the abominable snowman. So I want to thank Donovan. I hope you're still resting in peace, my brother. Denise Nicholas, my significant sweetheart. And there's a couple of stories, and I'm gonna fast forward on them. But Banneker has taken me in a lot of places. And it was about 8 years ago or so, and I was on my way to Los Angeles, rushing to get things packed. It's about 1 in the morning. I know this has happened to you guys. Some movie comes on, you're like, oh man, I gotta sit here and watch this thing. And I gotta be up at 5:30. So it was a piece of the action with Sidney Poitier, Bill Cosby, and James Earl Jones. But Denise was the curator of the Benjamin Banneker Academy. Now, I saw this movie before, but it was before I was the CEO of Banneker. So I fly, land, go to the Beverly Hilton, check in. My guys pick me up. We go to Santa Monica to a hotel called Castle Del Mar. So we sitting there, we chilling and eating. Guess who walks in? Hey, hat cocked ace deuce. It's Sunday. She just got out of church, chilling by herself. And I was telling them the story. They said, "Man, you got to go up and say something to her." I said, I don't like messing with celebrities. When they out, they be trying to chill, do their thing, right?" He said, "Man, no, you got to do this." So I went over and introduced myself. I said, "Hi, I'm Derrick Holmes." I said, "I knew you were in the movie." And I said, "You were the director of the Benjamin Banneker Academy and that." I said, "I just want to give you a card. I got to give you a watch." I said, "I'm a man of my word," so I said, "Write me and do that." She wrote me an email. We talked. I sent her the watch last promised. Of course, anybody who knows Denise Nicholas, if you have a crush on her, you either probably wasn't seeing good in one eye, or you probably were 3 or 4 years old if you was a man. So I tried to do a little jab punch in there, So we became friends, and she made it crystal clear. She said, "I love what you're doing. I think you're awesome. I love your company." She said, "But you're not age appropriate for me, man." It's like watch there and no soap. So after a few more jabs, I said, "You know what? You can't get them all, man. Be cool, just be a friend." A couple of years later, my Mac is not an act. She came out with it. The rest is history. Go! I want to talk about someone who we've been mentioning a lot tonight and without whom we wouldn't be here, and that's Mr. Jimmy Porter, and I call him honorary Dr. Jimmy Porter. Because you look at visionaries and you look at what's happened and what this did for us, how it shaped us. I was 13 years old, I think, 14 years old in 1977. And our diversity here in Iowa was incredible because we listen to all type of different musics. I love country, I love watching hee-haw, I love everything, you know, and it's a great thing. When we got KBBG, it set us on a different course because it turned us on to things. Now, we were younger, and at the time, all we wanted to hear was R&B, you know? So when the segment came on where they was playing Charlie Parker and Coltrane, we was like, when are they gonna get back to playing this and that? But it forced us.
Yes.
It forced us
Yes.
to be cultured.
Yes.
And I'm so proud of that and happy of that now because I have a deep appreciation
Yes.
for these individuals and so many other things that Jimmy Porter and the radio station brought. Martha Nash, just listening to them on the talk show. You hear things by proxy. Sometimes people end up being good cooks, but they never cook. But they had great cooks at mom and dad. So later on, you end up being a good cook. That's by proxy. You know, you were seeing things you weren't thinking you were going to see. I also want to say that I grew up, I had some good friends calculate this for me. I grew up 1,056 feet away from KBG. I ended up being a DJ there in the 10th grade, and it was incredible. But here's a gentleman, this gentleman right here, Mike Mohammed. This brother started and founded KBOL. He lived 40 yards from KBBG. Okay? So he was seeing Mr. Porter roll up. He was talking with Mr. Porter. He was seeing things. He was a kid. But through just that visualization and understanding what he could do, that's what he did. And he founded this thing. And it's amazing. And it just goes to show what you're exposed to can make you a part of it.
Yes.
So I want to say congratulations. I know Mr. Porter's proud of you.
Yes.
And really, sometimes things are not competition because there's so many watch companies out here.
That's right. That's right.
It makes you better.
It makes you better.
If you're an athlete, you know you're going to start every year, well, you're going to be laying on your laurels.
That's right.
You're not going to work out, and your game is not going to be what your game has the potential of being.
That's right. He's authentic.
I want to talk about one thing before I get into this. I want to talk about some of my extended parents who I spent a lot of time at their homes. Sister Nellie Owens, who I call Sister O. Sister Feeney Horton, who I call Sister H. Sister Owens was the mistress of ceremony at an evening service at our church in Mount Carmel under the great Dr. T.F. Thomas. And she used to hear us singing on the porch all the time. And I was kind of shy back then a little bit, believe it or not. And Ernest was already like, this dude was like, he was like Elvis and Michael Jackson mixed. He was tearing churches up everywhere. Mookie, Cookie, Wanda, all of us, we were out on the porch. So Sister Owens was hearing me sing. She was hearing us sing. So one day in the evening service, she said, now we'll have an A&B selection by Brother Derrick Holmes. I'm sitting up here, I'm like, oh, she said, now we'll have a A&B selection by Derrick Holmes. Everybody said, Derrick, it's you. It wasn't until they came around, you know how you get a basket scored on you and the whole team like, you. Until that happened, so I'll go up, I'm shaking like Don Knotts. And obviously I did a pretty decent job because after that, I got in the rotation and started singing. But that was the moment that started me knowing that it was possible for me to be a singer. Sister Horton, Sister H, known for her spaghetti. She used to actually make a side thing for me and said, that's Brother H's, don't y'all mess with that now, because I come in there and we tear it up. The Carters, Art Carter, Dorothy Carter, Fred Carter and Mrs. Carter, they would offset their budget for getting groceries because they know Hometown was coming through there. And we did the same. That's how we grew up in our family. And it was quite incredible. This morning I got dealt a pretty serious tough blow, and it's part of God's promise, but it's not easy. a good friend of mine, Deanie Phillips, passed away. He had always wanted to meet Denise. We used to always talk about it, and I was so fortunate we were able to get here Thursday. So we went out to the hospital, and he was sleeping. So we pulled up. Denise had his right hand. I had his left hand. So when he woke up, he was looking. He was probably like, I know I'm gonna go to heaven, but I'm not trying to go to this place. He was like, Denise, is this you? Denise. And I'm so glad that we got an opportunity to do that. So this morning I had the ball pretty good because I said tonight I'm gonna have to talk about it, but he is like a brother of mine, and I know this guy is incredible. And let me just do two quick things. One is this. Deanie Phillips, you know, he was like David's age, so he was several years older than me, but I met him. His auntie, Clara Salas, who lived right down the street from me, who actually she's the first cousin to Morgan Freeman in real life. But Deanie, 2 days before that, we did FaceTime. Now this guy, his kidneys are shutting down, okay? And we're doing FaceTime, and he is cracking jokes. He's singing Marvin Gaye. And I'm sitting there saying, hold it, wait a minute, am I seeing this or am I tripping? He's talking, he's telling me how his wife gave him a sponge bath, how much he enjoyed it. I mean, I'm saying to myself, I'm like, wow, this this act of courage is just unbelievable. And he was getting us together because he was making us strong for what was going to happen. And I've never experienced anything like that. We all have our faults. Deanie had his faults. I have my faults. I know a lot of y'all probably know. But anyway, I'm just saying. But this guy, I've never seen Deanie even get mad at anybody in all the years that I've known him. In fact, if you're mad at somebody else, he's trying to reason with you why you need to not be mad at them. So this is the word that describes Deanie, and I'm going to show you the offset word that we all got to watch out for. Magnanimous. Definition, very generous or giving, especially towards a rival or someone less powerful. Charitable, noble, and kind. Now this is another word that we have to watch out for. It's a German word, and it's a word that is deeply innate in a lot of people, and all of us. We all have certain abilities to be jealous or feel a certain kind of way. But we got to be conscious of that, because that is something that's critical. I mean, myself and everyone. It's a word that's called scootin' fruity, believe it or not. SCHADENFREUDE. It's a German word. It's pleasure derived from the misfortune of others.
Yes.
It literally means harm joy. It is the feeling of pleasure when someone sees another fail or suffer misfortune.
Teach, bro.
It's a street name called player haters.
Yeah.
Just tantamount.
Teach. Bring it.
Come on, Hometown.
A very dear friend of mine, like a little brother, Derrick Ambrose, and it is the mother of, is also like a little sister of mine, little Starks. This is the anniversary of Derrick Ambrose Jr. Some years ago, he lost his life. It's critical, but his father who served this military is so great. But this is another thing that I want to say. I know it's a lot of tension going on now between black folks and the police and people of color in the police. But it's clear to say, one apple don't spoil a whole bunch. And trust me, there are a bunch of tremendously good police officers all around the world. And I understand how we feel because I'm black. I get it. When you ride, you can be a little nervous. But if somebody's breaking in your house and your alarm goes off, I bet you're not gonna call Ghostbusters. You're gonna call 911. And these same people are going to come out and defend someone they've never met, and after kissing their children or their wives from home, it's a real possibility that something can happen. So we just need to be mindful, put ourselves in everybody's shoes. I mean, it's not making a right, it's not making a wrong. But, you know, Derrick is so magnanimous, he's here now, that he's like, hey, you know, I know all sides of it because I serve this country. So I wanted to just point that out. I want to talk about the new president, Deborah Berry. Representative Deborah Berry. Here's a woman who was a teen mom. Her folks pulled around her, and it was meant to be. This kid now is an educator, doing tremendous things. This woman went to college. She got her master's. She was the city councilwoman, state representative, and now president and CEO of KBBG. It's possible. Nothing you can't do when you put your mind to it. And I guarantee you, it's great. You know, I want you to be able to get your eagle wings, because you're going to have to be up there to keep up with the new heights you're going to be soaring to. I want to thank Ken Stevenson, because Ken Stevenson was a brother who also was at East High Incredible. He gave me my first opportunity to be an entrepreneur, and when I got bit with that bug in Denver, that's something that I've always wanted to be. I'm not going to talk about my company because you guys will be able to read and see it. But this is my last piece that I want to be able to talk about, and it's about goals and young people, middle-aged people, and upper middle-aged people. Goal writing. Goal writing is something that should be taught to us from preschool on up. It is so important and amazing. I'm gonna walk you back through it. Now, the average person uses 2% of their brain. Can you imagine that? 2% of our brain. So that's just like inheriting $100,000, but you can only deposit $2,000. $98,000 is gonna be sitting there. But we can do more. I think I'm working on trying to use all of mine. Now, I may be delusional, but I'm serious about that. If you have it, you can make it work. The Great Pyramids of Giza, it took 20 years to build. 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing 2.5 to 15 tons each. That's right. It was the tallest building for 4,500 years until the Lincoln Cathedral and then the Eiffel Tower. But guess what? Not a newsflash. It's still standing. Yes. And they still can't figure out. That's right. It took some goals to be able to put that together. That's right. Now, this is the thing that we're under. We're under and inside of this incredible universe. This universe, I study. I'm up to 3 o'clock in the morning sometime. I mean, I get amazed, you know, because I like looking at things outside the box. I want y'all to get outside the box with me for a minute. Who can get outside the box with me just for 1 minute? Because I grew up in a Baptist church, so if I say I'm ready to close, but that's my plan now. That's what I'm saying. There is billions of stars. Now this blew my mind now. Every star is its own sun. Let me back up. When you go out here, you gazing, you can't see but a little bit of them, but you see a gang of them. Every one of those stars is its own sun. there are more stars now, which are suns, in the universe than grains of sand on every beach in the world. I'm gonna say that again.
Wow.
There are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on every beach in the universe. Fact check me. Y'all saying, what does that mean? What that means is, I changed this. When people used to say the sky's the limit, I say the sky's not the limit. Because there's things on the other side of the stars. So there's universal things that God put in place, just like the weather, just like everything else. And we can tap into these things. And one of them is by writing your goals. Handwriting your goals, and I want everybody to please do me a favor now. I'm not just saying this. If you don't get nothing else out of what I'm rambling about up here, research the importance of goal writing. Goal writing, coupled with God's grace and me being a little off, because you got to be a little off to be an entrepreneur. You cannot be someone who looks at things logically and be an entrepreneur. But my goal writing, and I do believe that anything and everything is possible. I truly believe that because it's true. Because if you don't, you're absolutely right. If you don't believe you can do it, you're absolutely right. If you believe you can do it, you're absolutely right. And those are one of those two things that go in. So, dream big. Definitely look at your goals. And fact check me on the universe, it's gonna blow your mind. So the earth is not even a grain of sand. That's how small it is. Lastly, with the universe, the sun. You can fit 1.3 million Earths inside of the sun. Tell me God wasn't getting down. 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. I couldn't come out the house for 2 days when I learned that on that deal. I said, man, I gotta chill in here. This is what it is. But I got a respect for the sun you wouldn't believe.
Go ahead, Hometown.
So I am getting ready to close in real life.
You dropping it.
But a lot of people are saying, look, we want you to sing, man. You know you gotta sing. If you've been saying 30 years, everybody's like, this is. I said, I ain't come to sing, I come to speak. But I did put together a couple of songs, just a medley of a piece of a couple of songs that has been important to me, to my journey, and I hope it adds to you. Now, this is where Derrick Holmes ends and Hometown comes in. This is Hometown moment. You'll be hearing about it, that's what this is. Boy, the way Glenn Miller played songs that made the hit parade. Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days. Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. The beer is cold. You know that it will pour somehow. So tonight, let it be low and wild. That's what you said, Simpson. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see everything I hope for? You are everything I need. You are so beautiful to me. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound that saved my soul looks back and wonders how I got over. You'll never find, no matter where you live, someone who loves you
Go ahead, bro.
tender like I do. Oh, I'm not bragging on myself, baby, but I'm the one who loves you, and there's no one else, no one else. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see blue for me and you. Then I say to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh yeah. Don't let it end, I'm begging you, don't let it end this way. No, 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 no. Well, we're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Moving on up to the east side, we finally got a piece of the pie, yeah. And lastly, I want to go back to that city by the river, oh, oh. When the lights go down in the city, when the sun shines on your face, ooh, I want to be there in my city. Whoa, whoa, Waterloo. Whoa.
Amazing. Hometown Derrick Holmes. Give him one more round of applause. And now we would like to have Gene Hayes come up and give an award. We might have to have some money.